Yo bro, here is me after struggling with NoFap for 3 years with my teenage life, struggling with self-control, really ejaculating every single day. At least a year ago I remember clearly I used to ejaculate every single day in my bed, dark room near my parents' room, and I used to be out there just jerking off during midnight after saying goodnight to my family, bro. It was those fucked up days, man. And now I can genuinely proudly say that I'm on NoFap day 90. I even crossed that. That was like some few days ago. I even crossed day 90, by the way. And now this is not to boast or anything like that, because when you say what you have achieved in this modern day, it's like people criticize you and call you egotistical and something, but I'm proud that I made this achievement. And it's not like I became a millionaire or anything like that, but this in and of itself, my self-control with this NoFap has really skyrocketed my progress in other stuff like YouTube than I would have if I was jerking off and doing YouTube as at the same time as a part-time with my school, because I'm a student, right? And besides the benefit of NoFap, like you were wasting time, but now you do NoFap, so you waste lesser amount of time. And there's more to this. There's more to the benefit of NoFap, because think about this. Imagine you are on NoFap, right? Suppose you are on day 4 of NoFap, day 7 of NoFap. You know in your mind that you are on day 7 of NoFap. Okay, you know in your mind you are in day 7 of NoFap, and you know for a fact testosterone will increase at that particular day. So it's also like the placebo effect that you have, because majority of the time people on the internet will, you know, talk a lot good about NoFap day 7, NoFap day 90, how women can smell the retention out of you, how you become like a Superman and all that. It's the placebo effect. Okay, it's just because you believe that NoFap is good, it is actually good. Whilst it is also still good because you waste less amount of time. In reality, you are wasting less amount of time. And it's not about the time that mattered the most. You see, people were talking about how NoFap allows you to have more time, which you can use in your pursuit, instead of just jerking off to porn and just fantasizing about some women that you cannot have because you are a single young man who have not achieved anything just yet. It's a lot more than that. It's about your focus. You see, for you to focus on a certain thing, you need to spend time with it. And what happens when you keep on spending time with porn, jerking off, which is like the main priority for a human being to do. So the desire is gonna be huge. The desire for having sex and jerking off and orgasm is gonna be huge for you as a young man. So which is why it is very hard for us to do self-control. And I don't blame you anyways in that, because it's like our natural desire is to fuck and procreate. But you as a single man, I think it is best for you to do NoFap, which is why you are here, for the benefits. Let me tell you, it's about your focus. Okay, now you spend more of your days not focusing on NoFap and just focusing more on, you know, your other pursuits, whatever it is. For me it was YouTube, and then growing my YouTube channel from I don't know, some few hundred subscribers to still a few hundred subscribers, but almost achieving most of my goals. I'm being able to read more, get more wisdom. And you know, I like this idea, this concept from Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you ever read that book is amazing about building habits and breaking habits. Although I didn't read the full book or something, I just read the summary. That book talks about how you as a human being, as a biological animal, you are ingrained for certain needs. Like you have your sexual needs, your desire to eat food, your desire to be certain, your desire to feel intimacy with people, your desire to get social. Because if you strip away, imagine just a man, right? A man is there, he's stripped away from the society. Now what will happen? He will become like a madman, because he don't get the social interaction that he is supposed to get as a human being. When you have been training yourself to be fulfilled with masturbation and porn from the equation of where you need to get your sexual intimacy from your life, or even just relationship, some feeling of love and pleasure, when you have been feeling that equation by porn and masturbation, then you solely depend on it. When you cut that off totally, what happens? Your body tries to seek it from other things. Okay, that is why it gets so hard to control when it's like day 21, especially day 21. It's not like a precise date, but it's like after some few days of recovery from NoFap, like, you know, one of those states when it's like post-nut clarity and that you can't even fap anymore, but after a few days of recovery gets you to go full on masturbation again. But when you don't do that, the equation of you seeking love is not filled. And if you have not been training yourself to do other things than porn and masturbation to fill up the equation of seeking love, seeking relationship, seeking intimacy, or even sexual intimacy, then you either go back to fapping or find other ways to do so, because it is not about whether or not you are able to feel that, because you will be able to feel that. It's not about what you do. It's not about a fixed thing that you do, because it can be anything. It can be any way or the other. The way you feel this, you can either be a type of person who just feel that equation. Okay, the equation that I'm talking about, remember this. Feeling this equation with porn, masturbation, and jerking off, ejaculation, feeling good, post-nut clarity, and then feeling bad again, and then jerking off again. You could feel that way, or two, you could be the type of person who feel that equation of love, intimacy, relationship with your family. Okay, maybe with your family, with women that you meet in your daily life, at school, with your friends, with your homies. No gay, you know, it's not like no homo, bro. But it's like subtly, it's not even subtly, it's like small percentage of all of these, the people that you meet every day, those interactions that you have, that drastically increases naturally. You don't even have to try, it's automatic. That is a beautiful thing about this, because when you cut off from porn, when you cut off from masturbation, because porn has been like a whole life of giving you a sense of intimacy. It is a whole lie. It's a lie. And you've been getting a subtle intimacy. You feel like the girl that you're watching on porn is actually your girlfriend, and then you're having sex with her, and then when you ejaculate, there is like prolactin produced in your body, which makes you fall in love with that particular thing that you jerked off to. That is a lie. Porn is a lie. And so you start to interact more with your friends to get the same amount of intimacy than you would have from porn. But since you cannot get enough, you automatically do more of it. You interact with your families even more. You become more charismatic as a person. You want to almost like fuck the world, penetrate the world. You know, I've been recently reading this book, The Way of the Superior Man, and it talks about the spiritual side of things. A lot of spiritual side of things. It's like my first time reading those kind of books. And what I've learned is that your duty as a man is the contribution to this world. How you fuck your women is how you fuck the world. In your loving way, through your contribution and giving it value. So what happens when you cut off from porn? Which is healthy, which I think you should. It is a way of getting discipline and having conquer your body and your mind. You interact more with the world than like those days, like those past, when you would just lock up in your room and just jerk off, because that was me for a long time. Now I'm more of an extrovert person. I like to help my family. I do the chores daily, and I clean my room. Okay, all those basic stuff which I often ignored during my past days. I'm outside right now, and I have the confidence to do so. I know these are all not as significant as you would like. Modern day stimulation is too much, and then when you're getting all those stimulation and finally watching this type of videos when it's all silent, no background music, just me talking about my experience and benefit, as like being honest with my message, it's like kind of boring, right? It's kind of insignificant. But I think the one thing that you can take away from this video is that you need to, at least once in your lifetime, experience NoFap day 90. Okay, and by the way, I didn't get here. Okay, there's a lot of things that I have to say, and if you've been watching this far from the video, and by the way, if you want to learn more from me, then, you know, subscribe to this channel, because even I want to grow as a YouTuber and spread my message to even more young men, which I think will be helpful if you give a contribution to this. Okay, I didn't get here to day 90 of NoFap just by counting the days. You know, I've been inspired by this quote of like, don't count the days, make the days count. And that's exactly what I did. There's a lot of things to talk about in this past 90 days which I've experienced, and still I didn't fap just yet. It's not like I went on day 90 then I just ejaculated because I'm finally on day 90 or something. But this is like my lifestyle now. So I make the days count. Every single time I want to count the days, I just ignore it and try to fill my mind with something else, which is actually hard. Intentionally directing your mind to think about a certain thing, which is actually hard. But it is a practice that I've been doing for months before even getting here. Before even getting to this point, distracting myself with happy memories, achievements that I have, instead of entertaining the thoughts of porn whenever I'm horny. Instead of entertaining those sexual fantasies in my mind, which are often fucked up. If you are a young man, you know you have a dark side in you that wants to really rape women and just fuck a lot of women as much as possible. I know this is not so ethical or any like civil modern man, how they would say, but I think for us to embrace our dark side is also a good thing here. Now, we don't act on the desire to, you know, fuck a lot of women, because for everyone's benefit, just consider the consequences. I'm not telling you to now rape women or anything like that, bro. That is fucked up. Because my message is, you need to conquer your body and your mind. Self-discipline is freedom itself. So I was gonna tell you about how there are many things that contributed to my success in getting to day 90. And now I'm suddenly like recalling my day when I fat last, and it's like day 90. Okay, so that is the reason I came here, because day 90 is like the overrated day that most people think, and then I think that is why I need to talk on this too. Getting here is not so hype as much as you think, but it is peaceful. You know, one of the things that you realize as you are on day 40, day 50, when you are making NoFap as a lifestyle without even knowing about it, working hard, filling up your time with productive habits, and not entertaining the thoughts even when you are horny, when not entertaining the thoughts of like sexual fantasies even when you are horny, days and days you realize that there is a life possible without fapping. Because when you have been, bro, this is actually beautiful, man. When you have been fapping your whole life, since your since your puberty hit you, when you've been fapping from that for like a lot of years, almost 5 years, and then suddenly you are doing all this NoFap, bro. Imagine this, man. Imagine this. You're doing NoFap all of a sudden, and you suddenly realized a life without NoFap is possible. There can be a day for you where you go about your day productively, even though it may be boring and it may be like making you horny sometimes. There is a life possible without fapping. Of course, you're gonna feel stressed sometimes. You're gonna like, your brain is genuinely gonna, bro, spoiler alert, sometimes your brain is gonna genuinely convince you to fap, because your need, the equation for like sexual intimacy for you as a human being is not filled. So your brain will convince you as much to have the dopamine hit for NoFap. I'm still on my way. I'm still on my grind, you know. YouTube, school, and some sort of entrepreneurship that I'm doing here. Recently, I got an award. It's like startup pitch competition, and we had this idea. Me and my friends group, 4 of us, including me, we had an idea, and then we won the second runners-up. I think this is all credit to doing NoFap. But doing NoFap is not like doing it, because the practice of doing is not doing, it's rather removing fapping. Okay, when I remove fapping, it's like I'm able to focus more on my work. And it's kind of cliche to say, like, for me, I'm being one of those YouTubers who is saying this, like, oh yeah, NoFap is the reason that I won the startup competition and all that. But it's like, when you, like I said in the beginning, when you are able to focus more on a particular thing and narrow your focus on one particular thing away from all the other distractions, then all you have to think about is that thing. Suppose it is studying, suppose it is video editing for you, starting an agency, whatever business that you have in your mind. When you are thinking about that whole day without ever entertaining the thoughts of NoFap, which is in and of itself a distraction, when you're doing all that, living about your life, then you end up achieving it. Even though it may be not perfect, sometimes you're gonna fail, sometimes you're gonna feel the stress, really. really embrace the stress during those moments and understand that there is a life without fapping. It is possible. And for you to get there, you make the days count instead of counting the days. And by the way, I have like wet dream. I had so far like one wet dream. Let me share you my experience, right? Because this is like genuinely my first time. I think it's like my second time, because the first time that I got a wet dream was when I was 14 or 15. Now that was like a lot of years ago. And now I finally had a wet dream. I don't remember how it was exactly, but I kind of have an idea. It's essentially me. Like I was with my covers and then everything, blanket, pillow, and then I was just ejaculating by the friction that my dick was touching it. That was like my first experience. It's almost like a softcore orgasm. You don't even feel as much pleasure, but you can feel something is going down there when you are almost like half awake. And everything is dark in the middle of the night and you are really getting wet all down there. And that was my first experience, and I almost had an orgasm again, like in a wet dream. I almost had a wet dream again, which was I don't remember that at all, because I was going to have an orgasm, and suddenly I'm thinking about the fact that Mike Tyson never orgasmed for 2 years. I don't know if that is true. I don't know if he had a wet dream, and you know, I'm forcing myself not to orgasm. No, I can't orgasm right now. This is my life force. Even though like orgasming in a wet dream is healthy, because in a wet dream, okay, I'm not fucking telling you to jerk off an orgasm, because that is a fucking excuse if you're gonna use orgasm as healthy. But for a wet dream, it is healthy, it is normal. It is just a way your body automatically removes this all sperm from your body whenever necessary, whenever the capacity, the energy is enough in your body, whenever you are like having a good heavy meal, good proteinous meal in the night, at night. Of course not too heavy. It really depends on who you are and your ability. When you have enough energy, your body uses some of those energy to ejaculate automatically during your sleep, which is least likely like an orgasm, by the way. It's not even like jerking off, it's just soft core orgasm. You don't even feel the pleasure, or you don't even get that post-nut clarity, to be honest, because you're like half awake, right? So that is like my first and second time. And second time, I'm like controlling myself. I'm almost orgasming and just like, I'm like shouting in the middle of the night, bro. I'm shouting. I'm like shirtless. I sleep shirtless with my blanket pillows in my bed. I'm like shouting and all that. I think I was like growling or whatever. I don't remember exactly. I was sleepy, bro. That was my experience, and for you to get there, it's as easy. It's as easy as you think. I don't know how you think about NoFap, but it's easy. I've been here. I've been at your place. I've been jerking off for like 2 times at least, because every single time I jerk off, I can't just jerk off once and just get over with it, because I need to jerk off at least twice. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if you do that. I don't know if there are people who do that, but for me, bro, call me weird or anything like that, but that is just the way I do it. If it gotta be once, it's gotta be twice. If it gotta be twice, it's gotta be thrice, as long as I have the time for it. And to reach here is beautiful and takes time. And with whatever I've been preaching from my YouTube channel, all these days of me doing semen retention and teaching, I think that would be also very helpful. Those mindsets that I had, embracing stress and almost like doing it no matter what, pooping every single day, so that, you know, the male G-spot, the feeling good spot in your pelvic area doesn't come up and your dick gets hard. Journaling, meditation, being more mindful, breathing fully. You know, there are a lot of factors to NoFap. I think I'm gonna make a video on that ultimate NoFap guide, something like that in the future. Or just let me just plan out the script and all that, so that I can record a video day after day whenever I'm doing recordings. When you fill your life with more of the habits that you want and just remove the habits that you don't, it's beautiful and it's simple. That's all that is. And in this modern era, everyone, like especially with YouTube algorithm, you go on YouTube, you want to search for NoFap videos, but then it's like there are a lot of information. But let me tell you, no matter what other people say, it's as simple. Just forget everything else that you are thinking about right now, the benefits or whatever it is, how to live your life for NoFap, whatever it is, bro. Fuck that. It's as simple as removing your bad habits and including your good habits to it. And for your primal need as a human being, for love and intimacy and that feeling of orgasm that you get, that pleasure, you can do it in something else. For me, I converted those need, how do I put this in a sentence? Like, I got those fulfilled. I got those need for pleasures, dopamine fulfilled through my work, through my YouTube recordings, through studying, through playing guitar. Okay, I play guitar as a part-time, just getting into flow state sometimes and just doing it whenever I'm like resting. I think dopamine detox is also a very crucial thing here, because you need the ability to be more mindful, be more able to embrace stress. I think that is a beautiful life to live. Imagine you were to quit NoFap right now. Imagine you were to quit fapping right now. I'm sorry, I just put the wrong word to that. Imagine you were to quit fapping right now. Imagine your life filled up without fapping. I think this is like a powerful visualization that you can do. And I know when I talk about visualization, it's not as the sexy answer or the direct answer. But one thing you can do, and one thing that has helped me to get back into recording and uploading daily, because I don't have like enough, of course I'm not like a rich or anything like that just yet. I don't have like enough money to hire a video editor or a social media manager or anything like that. Heck, I don't even have a bank account, bro. I'm just born in a not so golden silver spoon kind of family. My parents work in a 9 to 5, so still managing my time. And one thing that has helped me to manage my time is to visualize myself managing the time, doing the work at the right time. So for example, I remember me being at the terrace at my house rooftop and just thinking about how I will go about through the day. It's morning, no one is awake, the sun has risen, almost risen, and then I'm thinking about how will I go about throughout my day. Like, how will I do now? After this, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna take a cold shower, fine. After that, I'm gonna journal, fine. After that, I'm gonna get ready for school, fine. I'm gonna read books, fine. I'm gonna go to school, and what am I gonna do? What kind of friends am I gonna be with today? What will I talk about today? All of this, try to be as specific as possible with visualization. And when you get home from school, what will you do? What kind of food do you expect to eat? How will you eat? How many water will you drink? How many glasses of water? What will you do after that? Okay, record videos. Okay, read books. Okay, take coaching calls. Okay, read books again. Okay, go to tuition. Okay, workout. What kind of workout? Be specific as possible. After workout, what will I do? I will edit my videos. After that, I will take bath. After that, I will have dinner. With what? With my brother, with my family, if my parents are home. Okay, and then after that, I will upload my videos. Be as specific as possible. And then when you visualize that, it's almost like your brain is already living that kind of life. So imagine this right now. One of those times when you're like looking at UFC fighters, or just thinking about just angry thought. Suppose you're thinking about like a street fight. You're looking at a street fight videos, and one of those guys are just like fighting with ego, and you get the hype, right? Your heartbeat starts to increase. If I were to tell you to imagine a fight right now, you will increase your heart rate without even getting into an actual fight, because your imagination is strong. And just in the same way, I want you to visualize your perfect day. A day where you don't even fap because you don't have the time to. You don't have the time to fap. And like that, your body will react to it. You're thinking about those things. So your body will be feeling like as if it is already living those life, and it will be so normalized in your life. And over time, with practice and failure, even though you are not so consistent with it, even though maybe sometimes you just fap between your workout sessions, or maybe you're butting and then you just fapped or something. If you keep on visualizing the perfect day, and if you keep on like getting better, like following that, suppose you're following that perfect day for 50% today, 50% of the routine is followed. Next time it's like 51, 55, 60. Get better every day, and really use something to remind yourself. For me, I'd like to put some papers on my wall to really remind myself and put the intention to it. Intention is very important. How do you think Mike Tyson became a great boxer? He put the intention to it. He didn't just make it happen. Like, he's trained a specific way. I know Andrew Tate said this a lot. Like, any successful person, they did a certain thing a specific way. They planned to do this at a specific time. They did it in a specific way. They trained a specific way, ate a specific way, slept a specific hours. They did all that with intention. They knew what they were doing. Even though it's not like perfect, sometimes maybe you just have to like go with the feedback and just know what is best for you, but you need to have that intention. Visualization could be like just 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or just planned out, write it down in your routine and set a perfect life for yourself. And of course, my life is not so perfect. I wouldn't say life can be perfect, but it's like getting closer to your best self. How will your best self go about your day? That has been a very huge realization for me. Live as if you were your best self, because why would you otherwise? And by the way, like, I'm talking about the perfect routine and not having time for fapping because you're doing all those productive habits, and it almost sounds like depressing for most people. Like, oh yeah, I wouldn't get time for fapping. That sounds like a lack of ability that I have. But like, you are more happy when you don't have time for fapping, when you are filling your days at least more with those good fun moments that you have when you are working, when you're reading that book that you really wanted to read for the whole time, that you finally started those business model, that you're finally on your grind, even though that may be like, it may be like tempting for you to change your business model after business model, when you're finally able to focus, even though your business is doing good or not, up and down days, but it's whether you stay with it. That's only the result comes, because many people will just quit businesses. Many people on their pursuit, after like posting 10 videos, they wouldn't pop just because your videos are just getting like 10 views, 2 views, 3 views, and it's only them watching their own videos, so they quit. That's like 99% of the people. And so the competition is also kind of easy, because it's just a matter of, are you obsessed with it? Because you're gonna go all in or go all out. And this is for any pursuit. This is not just like a YouTube career. I think that is like a powerful mindset to have. And once you get to a certain point, and I've been like getting more into this stoicism, reading articles about it, summary of some books, meditations by Marcus Aurelius, and then I've learned that it was never about those desires. You know, monks, they talk a lot about desires and all that, controlling our desires, and just thinking about it, it was never fapping that was bad for you. It was your desire for fapping. No, I wouldn't even say it's a desire, because desire is like normal for you as a masculine, normal human being. Wait, my grandmother. Hey! It was never about fapping. It was never fapping that was bad for you. It was because you were controlled by fapping that was bad for you. So you could, let me break it down into 3 stages. At first stage, fapping, you are controlled by fapping. And at the second stage, you relentlessly try to quit fapping because it is bad for me, it is bad for me. You are in that stage where like rigorously trying to quit fapping, doing NoFap and all that, trying to quit fapping because it is bad for you. And now stage 3, there are 2 ways to go at stage 3. When you evolve into stage 3, you realize that fapping wasn't the problem. Fapping wasn't the problem. It was you being controlled by fapping that was actually the problem. And this goes for any bad habits. Instagram isn't your problem. It is you who is not able to use Instagram or TikToks or short form content the right way. That is actually the problem. And for you to get to one stage to another, that takes like time, willpower, dedication, intention. It takes for you to control your temptation, for you to have willpower, control your body and your mind. Stage 3, you could go 2 ways. You could either go back to fapping and not be controlled by it and still live a happy, productive life, or still like quit fapping, just quit it totally and find another way to like feel that need for intimacy in your life through like finding a woman, having sex with a woman. And by the way, for you to think that you are at stage 3 when you are at stage 1, or whenever you're like at stage 1 or 2 and then thinking that you're like stage 3, bro, that is like delusional for you, because even me, I'm not stage 3 yet. Okay, maybe I'm kind of getting there, but stage 3 is like monk level, where you're not controlled by those desires, where you are like living in school and then not even getting the urge. I mean, getting the urge of it, but not acting on the desire. Doesn't make sense. It's like you don't want to be controlled by those desires to the point where you are like sacrificing the more important tasks for that trivial task, just because for pleasure, just because you want the dopamine hit, just because you couldn't control your desire and you are letting your desire control you. And by the way, sexual desire is the hardest thing to control. It's like sexual desire is on top, second is like substances, and then lower tier is like junk foods, and second tier substances could be like drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, drinks, and all that. But the topmost is sexual energy. Getting into stage 3, bro, I'm still experiencing from going to stage 2 to stage 3. But when you're at stage 1 or 2, don't ever think about that, bro. Just drop your ego. You first need to learn like how to do it the hard way first. Intentionally getting there, like filling your days with good habits and intentionally retaining from sex, or even like retaining from ejaculation, because you're single, so I bet you can't even have sex right now, bro. No offense, but even I'm single, so I'm doing this shit. Because why would we jerk off meaninglessly if we could just use the energy, the life force in our balls, the testosterone that it produces, those sperms, for doing our works better? Why would we do it otherwise? Because testosterone, that's like the primary determination of the type of man you are, whether you're competitive or whether you are more reserved. And that really determines your whole life trajectory and how you go about with your work, whether or not you are doing those hard work effortlessly. And for you to get there, semen retention, controlling your body and your mind, conquering it, that is the way to get there. And it's not like those hardcore warrior stuff and all that. Is simpler than you think it is. Majority of the time is simpler than you think it is. If you want to go all hardcore, fine. I just had my dinner, so I'm like full and all that, burping a lot. A tip I would give you, if you are like day 1 to day 7, which I guarantee most of you are, most of you watching this video are like day 1 to day 10 of NoFap, perhaps even fapping like few hours ago, bro. I wouldn't explain too deep into this because I've already made a lot of videos about this. Poop a lot, embrace stress, do hardcore workouts, get more mindful, get into meditation, and get one good habit that you can do. It may be reading, it may be doing meditation, journaling about your triggers, and do that consistently. Improve your life, one step at a time, always.